IBM has launched a new tool. It wants to help AI users spot hidden biases in algorithms. Dario Gil is IBM's vice president of AI. He joins me now in the C-suite. Dario, this is such an interesting topic to me, especially because AI seems to be pervasive in our workplace, in our lives right now. Can you start by just explaining what do you mean when you say AI bias?
AI bias, yeah. So one of the reasons why we're hearing about AI so much is because the recent advances that we have made with neural networks make prediction accuracy, very good. But the problem is it's a black box. So when we go and we have a data set that we give examples to this neural network to train it, let's say we're going to do a credit scoring to assign whether somebody should get a mortgage or not. So we give past examples and give us a prediction. But in the training of that example, did somebody use biased data? And therefore, for example, if we use historical data from past approvals, and maybe in the past, we weren't giving credit or approvals to women, as an example.
Or to minorities.
Or to minorities. Well, if we use naively sort of past data to just train an example, we're going to create a system that is biased. So what we have released in our trust and transparency toolbox is the ability to be able to check for your data that you use to train the machine learning models and see if it's biased, and also for the models themselves, and also to provide explainability. Why did it make that prediction? Give me some explanation for how it works.
Is it easy to understand? You talk about the black box, and I want to get there. There's a belief that I think that there are not a lot of AI experts that understand how algorithms, how machine learning, how all of that stuff works. But there is an understanding that programmers behind it use data that might be biased, and the programmers themselves might be biased. So how understandable, I guess, is this toolkit for these companies to be able to really understand what's going into the decisions that they're allowing AI to potentially make?
That's right. And that's the major advance of the new service we've released on the IBM Cloud, because what you can do is two components of it. One is this bias checking of the data itself and the models. But the second component, what you alluded to, is explain it to me in a way I can understand it. Not by telling me, oh, it has 1 billion weights and here's the numbers. And you're like, what does this mean?
Yeah, because that keeps it a black box.
That keeps it as a black box. Exactly right. So this is about being able to give me an explanation with language that I can just read, of saying, oh, this prediction is using these variables, more, this class of variables and so on. And it gives you an understanding for which variables are more important, the consequences of using those variables in the prediction, let's say on the credit scoring or on hiring in HR or on a medical recommendation, so that a human, a normal person, which we all are, to understand why is it behaving the way it does. And that's a major advance.
And obviously your company hopes that what this leads to is less of a fear of the technology, more mass deployment of AI. And I know IBM is active in that. On that point, I want to ask you a broader question about competition in the AI sphere. I know that China is also very advanced when it comes to artificial intelligence technology. How far ahead is it when it comes to a China-US comparison?
Well, AI, it's arguably the most important technology in the world today. So it's not surprising that at every level, whether you're talking about at the education level and students wanted to learn about AI, at the business level, using AI and creating AI for competitive advantage, and at the national level, right? There is national strategies to advance AI. And we're seeing that. So China is an exemplar of making those investments, a national strategy, but we're seeing that, broadly, not just in China. Of course, in the United States, if you look at United States or Canada, are major powerhouses in terms of AI innovation and advances and so on. But it's undoubtedly the case that China has made it as one of their top strategic priorities.
And because it's made it a priority, has it advanced technologically further than the U.S., for example?
Well, what I would say is that we're seeing the application of it is a very broad use, but we're also seeing that in the United States. And I would say at the forefront of advances in AI, the United States also remains extraordinarily competitive, right, and making many of the seminal advances. And, things are happening in China as well. But I would not say that we're in a situation where we're not at the forefront of leading in AI.
Dario Gil, Vice President of AI at IBM. Such an interesting topic. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me here.